bring this meeting to order.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as we start this meeting, we start, Father, asking for your wisdom and guidance in all things that are said and done, and it would all be to your glory and yours alone. Father, we lift up tonight our EMS service, and we pray that you would be with each person in that service as they, Father, have grief and maybe a lack of understanding now. We ask you would be their peace and their grace. We ask you to protect them as they work, as our Sheriff's Department works on the streets tonight, and our fire departments as they run these calls. We thank you, Father, for this opportunity to do the business you've called us to do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, roll call.
This is a regular meeting of the Hendry County Board of County Commissioners being held Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the City Commission Chambers in Clewiston, Florida. In attendance are Chairperson Raymond Iglesias, Vice Chair Emery Howard, Commissioner Emma Byrd, Commissioner Mitchell Wills, Commissioner Michael Atkinson, County Attorney Matt Rollerson, County Administrator Jennifer Davis, and Deputy Clerk Sharon Congleton.
Before we get started on our regular meeting, tonight we'd like to take a moment and honor one of our own. Paramedic Hendry Uribe began his employment with Hendry County EMS on December 9th, 2022. He proudly served as our DVP representing Hendry County EMS employees in IAFF Local 1826. Prior to his employment, here he worked for Highlands and Polk County. He started his public service career in 2014. He passed away today of natural causes, February 10th, 2026, at the age of 60. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family, his friends, and his coworkers. Please stand as we take a moment to honor in a moment of silence. Okay, thank you. All right, moving on the agenda, I have nothing under bids. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Byrd, second by Commissioner Atkinson. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. All right, we have a last-minute add-on for presentations from Crisis Prevention, Empowerment. I couldn't read my own handwriting. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to present this evening. My name is Heather Cross, and I'm the CEO for Crisis Prevention and Empowerment. We are a nonprofit mental health agency. We have been in operation since 2017. We offer free mental health services to Circuit 20. So Hendry County is obviously one of our areas that we serve. We are completely mobile. We are completely free. We offer a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week hotline for anybody that is struggling with any mental health issues. The thing that we do prosper at is diverting Baker Acts, which is involuntary hospitalizations. We have a 94% rate of diverting Baker Acts. So the good news is we're keeping people out of the hospitals, we're keeping people out of the jails, and we're keeping people in their homes, working or maintaining their homes or their family. We are currently embedded in Hendry County. We are in the school systems, so we do have an MOU with the school systems. So if there is a crisis in Hendry County schools and we can get here in 60 minutes or less, we offer our wraparound services. Wraparound services include case management services and peer support specialist services. Again, all those services are free. One of the things that we really focus on is keeping kids in their homes with their families, working with the kiddos, and preventing crises from happening. As you know, in the last couple of years, we've had several crises happening in our own counties. People have lost their SNAP benefits at one time. People were struggling to just provide Thanksgiving meals, and one of the things that we were able to do is link them up with other agencies so no one had to go without Thanksgiving dinner. We really take pride in our prevention work. So any barriers that are identified, whether someone lost their job, got an eviction on their house, we obviously know those cause mental health or depression, anxiety, and not having the answers and not knowing what you don't know. So we have this hotline that is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Anytime someone wants to call in and, if they're feeling depressed or if they have felt suicidal, we do offer the resources and to get them hooked up with community partners. One of the things that we were just able to do is we received a $25,000 grant to allow us to help people with social determinants. So if someone was not able to pay their child's book rent, if someone was not able to pay their rent for the month or their electricity, that is considered a social determinant, and we are able to assist them to pay for their bills. We want to keep people in their homes, keep them working. Again, there's no age limit. We offer adult services and children's services. We also are embedded in the Hendry County Jail. So anyone that is in suicide watch in the Hendry County Jail, in order for them to come out of suicide watch, they do call CPE, and we do an assessment to make sure that they're still not suicidal. If they are not suicidal, then they go back in general population. So those are the two areas that we are already embedded in. Thankful for Commissioner Byrd for meeting with us and just really allowing us to come and speak, because we know there's so many people that don't know what they don't know and have services like ours that are totally free that help them navigate the systems. We also help people apply for insurance. So if they don't have insurance, we help them apply for insurance, food stamps, Medicaid, anything that can help them just prosper in everyday life. Again, we are in the Circuit 20 counties. We offer free mental health services, specialize in diverting Baker Acts. The wraparound services are really where we really prosper. We have peer support specialists that have that lived experience, that have mental health or have lived with someone with mental health. And that's probably our most popular service because they allow to go into the homes or meet at Duncan or wherever someone wants to meet, just to kind of walk that walk with them. We serve probably 150 people a month. We also are partnered with local law enforcement agencies. We just started our co-responder team in Lee County. We work with Fort Myers Police Department. So we actually have a clinician and a case manager in a police car that are going to calls dealing with behavioral health, mental health, or what they consider public assist calls. So that's been very successful. The national average for a co-responder team with law enforcement is 10 to 15% diversion rate for Baker Acts. We are serving 56%. So we're way above the national average, and we know that it works, having clinicians in police cars. Law enforcement are very quick, and they'll tell you to Baker Act. So when that happens, you've got the handcuffs, so it kind of criminalizes the Mental Health Baker Act because they are transported with handcuffs on in the back of a police car, and then they're hospitalized. So anytime that we have the ability to de-escalate, to do what we call a safety plan, that keeps them out of that criminalization that happens to take place. There's also trauma that goes along with that that we also try to avoid as well. So I just, very thankful you allowed me to come out here and speak today about this. We know there's several people, that you may know sitting here in this room that know other people. I did bring brochures. Again, we have an 844 number that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No one ever has to worry to come to us. We know transportation can sometimes be a barrier. But we are completely mobile and transport to wherever you're at. So I'm happy to leave these brochures. I'll always use this number that I'm going to give you that's on the brochures for any questions, even if it's, hey, can we do this or can we help with this? We are completely funded through Department of Children and Family Services, and Central Florida is the managing entity of that funding. So, being a nonprofit, we're always looking for organizations to partner with. Again, especially law enforcement, just to kind of help reduce the Baker Act and the criminalization of mental health. So, thank you again for allowing me to speak tonight, and I will leave the brochures for everyone to take after the meeting.
If you'll just leave them right there beside Shane on that bench, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for all you do. This is the public hearing portion of the agenda. This is item VA 25-0005, a variance request to reduce the minimum setback by 22 feet. First, county staff will be providing an overview of the application. Then the applicant or its agents will be provided time to present any information they would like to convey. At the conclusion of the presentation, the public comment portion will commence. Members of the public will be provided 3 minutes for comment. For record purposes, if you're going to speak on this agenda item or the next following one, we need you to fill out a comment card that should be with Madam Clerk. Right there. If we can maybe put that by Shane. And then if you'll fill that out, turn it into the clerk and she'll get it to us. We'll actually bring you up in that same order it was turned in. Public comments will be directed to the board. If there are any issues or questions raised in the public comment portion, the board may provide time for the applicant to respond after the public comment has concluded. Ryan, you may start.
Good evening. For the record, Ryan Alexander, Director of Planning and Community Development. The first public hearing item is VA 25-0005, which is requesting a variance to the rear and side setbacks within Sky Valley subdivision. Just before we get going with this, I did talk to Matt yesterday. We are working through a PUD amendment for the setbacks within Sky Valley. I had to get everything together for the PUD. I reviewed everything, and it looks like it is tied to the actual PUD for the setbacks. So we'll be bringing back a county-initiated amendment at some point for that. It doesn't really apply to this instance, though. They're asking for a significant variance. So they would still be coming in for a variance, but some of the previous ones we've dealt with in the past couple months, it would have helped out with those. So this request is by the Peacocks, who are here in attendance tonight, to reduce the rear setback by 22 feet and the side setback by 9 feet, resulting in a 3-foot rear setback and a 6-foot side setback. They plan on placing a shed on the property. We did take this before the local planning agency. They had a couple of clarification questions, but ultimately voted to forward the petition to the board with a recommendation of approval. I have 3 conditions that are built into this approval for the side setback, the rear setback, and letting them know that they have to pull any permits. This isn't granting a permit for the shed. If you have any questions for them, they can always come up here, or if we have anything, we can move it forward.
Okay, I'm going to open up the public hearing portion on this item. Is there anybody from the public that would wishes to speak? If there's no members who wish to speak, I'm going to now close the public portion.
Commissioner,
Yes, ma'am.
so I visited the property out there, and it's wonderful, but I do understand the variance because of the way the property is made. We talked today, every property is gonna have to have its own standards because of the way it's built, but it's just, I motion that we go to the public hearing. I believe we need to have a public hearing first, or would this be considered the public hearing? So option 1 is conduct a public hearing and adopt the attachment.
All right, we have
If I make that motion.
any other comments? Well, we have a motion by Commissioner Byrd.
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Wills.
I got some questions.
Commissioner Atkinson.
So on the amendment for the PUD, do you have setbacks that you're going to recommend yet?
I don't have them yet. And in talking to Ms. Byrd earlier this afternoon, she asked to look at each of the lots. So I need to look at them and see if there's going to be a difference between lakefront lots and lots that are abutted up against somebody else. I think a reduction in the lakefront lots is really what we've dealt with in the past couple variances. I don't want to reduce it so much for the lots that are backed up to each other. So I need to look at that. I don't have a recommendation at this time yet, though.
Because that was one of my things. The lake already has, a big buffer between the property line and the water. So reducing those aren't a big deal at all. And if we do it on the interior lots, we just need to make sure we, make them 6 or 10 feet on the rear instead of 3 feet. But on the water, I'm good with the 3 feet.
I do believe every lot is gonna recommend a different PUD because of the way they set up. So,
Most of them's going to be on the cul-de-sacs. Got that
They're tight.
triangle.
And those triangle-shaped lots is what we have to look at too, just with the way that that communities developing with larger homes and not wanting to discourage that, those pie-shaped lots really don't set up themselves for a larger home.
And I think what we do here, so we've kind of got to create some uniformity and not just be, okay, well, you get 3 and 6, you want 8 and 10, okay.
Yeah.
You know, we need to be square lots, you know, on the lake, kind of its own, everything else, where it does create some uniformity and not, neighbor's got
Yes, sir.
3 feet from my lot line, and, you know, then the other neighbor on the other side's 8 feet. So,
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
think moving forward, uniformity would be
So-
best.
So we discussed initiating a county amendment to that PUD for all the reasons that you just spoke about. And so we'll bring that, when do you think?
I still need to go through some of the easements. There's still a little bit of research. Unfortunately, in 2005, the record keeping was a little bit harder. So I'm working through finding everything. Once I get everything compiled, then I can come back.
Okay,
Probably some meeting next month would be the plan, and then take it to the LPA.
thank you.
Any more questions from the board?
No, sir.
Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Atkinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Byrd,
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Wills,
Yes.
Chairperson.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, second item, SE 25-001, Park Avenue Ranches ATF license. The applicant is requesting a special exemption on 1.75 acres of the 788-acre parcel to comply with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives requirements for the fabrication, assembly, and off-site sale of firearms, ammunition, and on the subject property zone general agricultural, A2. Once again, this is a meeting of the public. If you're wishing to speak on this agenda item, please fill out a comment card, turn it into the clerk. And at this time, I will let Ryan present.
All right, for the record again, Ryan Alexander, Director of Planning and Community Development. This special exception took a little bit to work through and come up with parameters that were acceptable to the county and didn't create spot zoning or open up an industrial area out in an area that might not be appropriate for it. So we settled on a special exception for the use. The use itself is very limited. It's really for their license to be able to move from West Palm Beach over to Hendry County. Most of their sales, and Summer can clarify this, are off-site. It's just really for the manufacturing within the facility that's already there. So we took it to the LPA. They had some clarification questions that we were able to work through, just making sure that the appropriate emergency services were in place, and then also safety, compatibility with the acreage being so large on the property and being in a very rural area. The parcel is centrally located, so the offsite impacts are very, very minimal. The LPA did forward a recommendation of approval, and now I'll turn it over to Summer. Yeah. Well, if they have any questions, it's pretty straightforward, but there are some nuances to it that she can answer better than I can.
Good evening. My name is Summer Foster, for the record. You want to go with the offsite sale? I mean, so really, it's what it is. They needed a special exception. We did not want to create spot zoning, so that's why we went with a special exception, so we could condition it, make sure that it was very specific, tailored to the use. It was the ATF. They have a home in Broward County. That's where their license is hung today. They are actually in the process of moving out there to this property. They have an existing warehouse. What they're planning on doing is continuing to do this hobby. ATF, I don't manufacture bullets and I don't want to say rifles, but things. But they have businesses that they use them. They have hunts, so it's really for their use. I think they do maybe have some military contracts, but nothing. It's not for the public to come on. It's not for them to sell things there. This is really for their use, and that's why we cut out that 1.75 acres to say, hey, this is the area that you can hang your license. It got a little bit bigger, mostly because there's an existing pad, so I wanted to encompass everything to say, hey, this is the area. This is where we're keeping it, and like I said, the building's existing. It was built under ag exemption, but part of our site recommendations and conditions is to make sure we go through the process to get an actual building permit and a CO. So that way fire, everything is up to code and there are no issues with that for emergency services. They have a very large entrance road made out of lime rock. So that way if anybody needed to get back there as far as ambulance or fire, they could. I mean, I know it's 20, 30 minutes from town, but still, we still have everything in place already.
Okay.
If there's something specific, I'm happy to answer that. I don't want to go into too much detail unless you guys have specific questions.
All right, any members of the public wish to speak on this item? All right, I'm now going to close the public hearing portion and allow the board to have any discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I just have one question, I guess for Ryan. Are they going to use Dooley Grade as the entrance, or is it going to go out to 833?
I believe it goes out to 833.
They have no access on the grade.
You have no access.
Oh,
on the
okay,
grade.
okay. Thank you.
Make a motion to approve?
Got a- All right, let's go to Madam Clerk for the roll call vote. We have a motion for Commissioner Atkinson, a second from Commissioner Byrd.
Commissioner Atkinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Byrd,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Wills,
Yes.
Chairperson Iglesias.
Yes. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, moving along, we have staff reports. Matt, you're up. Code Enforcement Citation Staff Report.
I'm Matt Rollerson, County Attorney for the record. Chair and Board, I've emailed you a copy of the draft ordinance. This is not the meeting to vote on this this ordinance, but it's direction. It's and the proposed changes are outlined. I did want to point out that this tracks statutory language. So the way that code enforcement statutes work is that there's a notice of violation section and a notice and a citation section, but they're predicated, the premise of those statutes are a code enforcement board. We have a special magistrate process, which is under an alternative, so basically it's sort of a catch-all at the end of both statutes saying, or an alternative process. But there are due process concerns that we need to address. That's handled by the special magistrate process. So the purpose of this was to update it, to make anybody who wanted a hearing regarding the issuance of a citation, for that to go before the special magistrate and not to county court, as that's what the prior ordinance did. So, this is really to provide direction to staff when we bring this back, and I will bring it back at the next meeting, provided it can be advertised sufficiently prior to the meeting.
So we went down this path overall because of Wheeler Road and the issues that we were having with basically habitual offenders, correct? So I know, Tommy, you and your team have been getting ready for the magistrate hearing on Thursday, so you guys haven't really had time to review. Matt, do you feel comfortable with what you have here as to that, addressing those specific issues?
On section, well, it's a second AB, it needs to be, on 151 3.2B, it says that they're gonna provide a warning to someone. And basically what it says, you get a warning unless there's reason to believe that the violation presents a serious threat to the public health, safety, or welfare, or if the violation is irreparable or irreversible. I work with code enforcement all the time, so that's gonna trigger whether, if someone's parked on a road or next to a road, there's things which create a danger immediately. An off-leash dog, things that you really can't, they're not reversible. The risk of harm is created by the action at that time. To me, those things sort of trigger an immediate citation if code enforcement would warrant that. If they have questions about that regarding violations. But what this does is going to allow them to go, if they give someone a warning, and it's not, they don't have 30 days. This is not to exceed 30 days. So they can give them a warning and say 3 days. And they come back and their truck's parked somewhere it's not supposed to, a citation. They do it again, it's a repeat citation. So It does address that, and that was the whole, I mean, that was kind of the thought process. There's things like parking and that are whack-a-mole. They're not, the notice of violation, doesn't work for that. You can't give them 30 days to report. They'll just move the trucks and go, we'll come out, and it's compliant, then they move them back. You know, it doesn't work that way. This will work that way, if they stay on it.
Commissioner Wells?
Mr. Chairman, yeah, so that's what I was gonna ask, because what happens a lot is they come into compliance, and we gotta start all over from scratch. So what we're looking for is something that, you come into compliance, great, but if the next day, you're right back in within hours, you're right back into it. We gotta get something, and it's gotta be stern enough that, you know, it's not just a slap on the wrist.
Well, that's what the purpose of this for. This is, I want to say the initial fine is of $250, and repeat violations go up higher than that.
Yeah, I saw 250 and I saw $500, but again, when they come into compliance, we've always started from scratch again. We had to start over. So
No,
does
this is
allow us
this
the
is a
fact that we
repeat.
can-
No, if it's a repeat, if they're in violation and they don't request a hearing, and they repeat the violation, it's a repeat violation. Basically, you're getting a ticket.
Mr. Chair, we just have to make sure we don't close the case out, because if they close the case
Well,
out.
these
then-
aren't cases. It's like getting a speeding ticket.
Okay,
You can request a hearing, if you want to contest that speeding ticket, if you have 15 days. If you don't, then you don't have an appeal
because once
process.
they come into violation, they do close the case out. So that means, that's what they were saying, it opens right back up. So if it's their second offense, we just gotta make sure we don't close the case out and that we move forward on what we need to do. But I did call a couple of other counties. They're doing the same thing we're doing, but yeah, I hope it helped the problem, but they still have not come in compliance. They have raised their fines, but they still have the problem. So,
Well, this is this is a process by which if you've got repeat offenders who are parking more than one truck on a residential, single-family residence in Wheeler, or if you're parking on a road, you're getting a citation. If there's some moving parts to this with respect to, can we tie the violation to we want to implicate the property, because that's where our teeth of our liens come into play. So we'll have to work through that from an operational standpoint of how we're going to do that. But that's what they're going to get. You're basically getting a ticket, and you have 15 days to request a hearing. If not, then you have to pay that ticket. If not, it results in a lien. They can start proceedings. There's some limitations on that, but that's what it is.
Commissioner Howard?
I'm sorry.
Mr. Rollerson, so if someone's given a citation and they contest, they go and they have their hearing, and the hearings, either they're upheld or not, that ends that process, and so you're still starting over. Is that correct?
No, then there would be a repeat violation. I mean, provided they're found in violation, that they would be a repeat violator. A subsequent violation would be a repeat. There's not 30 days. When you get a ticket, you're saying that you're not entitled to. I mean, you're entitled to a hearing to dispute the receipt of a citation, but the adjudication is really then. It's like getting a speeding ticket. They're saying you're speeding. Here's your fine. You can either contest it or don't. But generally, you're going to lose if you contest it. I mean, generally speaking. I mean, and you're going to pay fees. You're going to pay the cost to appeal it. So, just like you would a speeding ticket. So this will be effective. I mean, it will be an effective tool. Particularly effective if we can tie it to the property.
So with all that being said, is there, let's say I go out and build a house. I don't pull any permits. I'm found in violation. There's a fine that goes with that. It's not just you get your permit. No, there's a fine fee for the permit. You have to pay more for the permit. So is there something we can look at this, and listen, I'm as fed up with the things going on out there as the people that live out there, and I don't live there, but there's gotta be some way, if nothing else, can we start daily fines? If they don't come in, they don't pay the ticket, they go to court, and they
Well,
keep doing this. Is there anywhere in there to do that?
The notice of violation process has a daily fine attached to it. This really doesn't. It doesn't, because it's like, you're in violation, here's your ticket, and the ticket's this amount of money. But it's not it's not a recurring thing, and it's not really supposed to be. It's supposed to be, you did something you weren't supposed to, here's a citation, here's your fine. If you do it again, it's $250. You do it again, it's $500. You do it again, $500.
So when they
Every
go
time
out,
you do it, if you do it every day, you can get a fine every day.
So when they go out and issue this, it's fine. It's a $250 fine.
Yeah,
So we haven't done that in the past,
no,
but
Not since I've
we
been
can
here.
do that.
yeah.
Get a ticket book. A thick one.
No, I'm
Ms.
fine,
Byrd,
that
that
was
was
my,
it?
yes,
Okay.
that was my.
You got a question, Commissioner Byrd? I mean, Howard?
Yeah, I think I like where this is going. I would be interested to hear what code enforcement says when they have a chance to comment on these changes. I guess the first question I have is, you know, that type of repeat, if it's a quick turnaround repeat, do we have enough time and folks to go out there and cover that repeat offense?
Well, I've discussed it with Tommy and code enforcement, so we'll be working through that, you know, who's gonna control the citations. We also don't want, you know, I don't want 1,000 citations in a month and then be stormed by the public. So it needs to be used in a way that, you know, there's areas we got problems and we need to address those areas, and this is the notice of violation process doesn't work, so that's what this is. And we had one in process. The only issue I had with it was I don't want to end up in county court. When I took the job, we had 2 code cases in county court, been there 2 years for no reason. We disposed of them pretty quickly, so I want to avoid that. It's really not, we already pay a special magistrate. There's no point.
I believe if you get a couple people and they get hammered a couple times, the rest of them will get the idea.
Oh.
I think that's gonna be more of a deterrent than a lot of cases.
Well, and compliance is the objective.
Right.
That's the whole
Jennifer, did you
thing.
have a question?
So, if Tommy goes out there, he sees the violation, he writes the ticket, nobody's there. Does he mail him the ticket?
Yes, it's certified mail. They're gonna post it and mail it, and
So no signatures required?
they have to sign it, and it's actually a misdemeanor for refusing to sign it, like a speeding ticket.
So if they get it in the mail, then they'll have to sign it and return it?
Well, I think it's acknowledgement, but it's gonna be proof that it's gonna be adjudicated by we have to prove they got served, basically, sufficient for notice for the magistrate, right? So there's gonna be an adjudication of that, at that point, but.
Because we want to make sure also that we don't put our code staff in difficult
Danger.
situations and dangerous, at the same time. So
And I agree, that's what we'll work through.
kind of got to balance that too and get their input on to make sure that they're safe at the end of the day.
Commissioner Byrd?
So it first started with a warning, am I correct, or does it first start out with the 30-day warning, then it steps into the compliance?
It's, I don't envision it's gonna be a 30-day warning. It's, no more than 30 days. I think it's more like a 3-day warning,
Okay.
I would expect. And, that'll be sort of operationally staff will work through that. But, is provided that it doesn't meet that other criteria. So it should be warning unless it's imminent or
I
reversible. And we
basically-
will talk about, from a legal perspective, what I think that means. I mean, so there's things that are, it's creating an imminent danger. You're not getting a warning.
But what I'm asking then, when do the violations start? Is it after code go out and tag that property, and then they wait those 30 days? Or this is their first time violating, so I'm gonna tag them for the 30 days. Does it start after then, or that's what I'm asking?
Well, there's gonna be discernment by code in that, but I mean, if you get a warning and it says, you have 3 days, and they come back out and you're not in compliance, then you're getting a citation. And then if they come back 3 days later and you're not compliant, you're getting a citation. I mean, you can get a citation. I mean, so that's what it's for. I mean, we're trying to reach compliance, but they have the right, I mean, the code enforcement can do that under this.
The original intent was on the repeat offenders
Right.
to put some teeth behind it and start finding them sooner rather than having to go
That's why
through
I
the
was
warning
asking.
process and magistrate. We're eliminating that.
But
so.
it doesn't mean that every single
Correct.
violation or warning will be the 3-day and be
But
as
that's what I'm
aggressive.
asking, is it first starts out with the 30 days to give them an opportunity, then when they're not in compliant, that's when the violation starts.
And this is for specific things. This isn't,
This
you know,
isn't
a
for
failure to
every
pull a
regular-
permit
Yes.
or building a shed without a permit. That doesn't lend itself to this kind of thing.
Okay.
This is like parking a truck somewhere where it's not supposed to, or parking on a right of way, or,
Something
you
that can
know,
be cleared right then.
yes.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
think they've had enough warnings,
Yeah.
is my opinion. We've been warning them since I've been sitting in this chair, so eventually we gotta start writing tickets.
Commissioner Howard?
Understand.
And that does include the parking of more than one commercial vehicle, the
Yes.
issues that we've been dealing with.
Yes.
Okay.
So I would recommend, I mean, I like what I'm hearing so far. Of course, we're not making a decision tonight. Tommy, you and your team need to get with Matt and go through this line item by line item, make sure it's going to work for you guys, make sure it's safe for you guys. You need to get new citation books, and let's get it right. And let's go after these people that are repeat offenders that continue to beat the system, so.
And we have an existing one. It just needs to be amended to include this new language. It has this statutory language, and I've looked at some others as well. So we'll be putting that together. So we'll create an operational procedure, and that, you know, we'll have to tweak probably over time, but it is what it is. We need to start doing it. It's really the only tool to address this. And
So what's the next step? You're going to get with them. At the next meeting in LaBelle, you're going to have another draft that we're going to be able to vote on, and then once we vote on it, it goes
it
into
will be,
effect?
yes, provided that we have it'll be at the next meeting that we have sufficient lead advertising time, and I don't, you know, the paper has deadlines and things. I have to get with Felicia on that. I don't know if that falls into the next, we can do it in the next meeting, we will. We'll do it as soon as we can do it.
So when you advertise it, do you have to put the language in there, or just state that you're going to talk about that topic, make that topic?
Yeah, you should have, I mean, it should be drafted there. I mean, the language can change at the meeting. I mean, you know, the board has the
If
ability
someone
to change it,
asks,
but.
Then we can give it to them.
I want to be able to, I'd love to be able to prove it at the next meeting to start hitting these people that keep beating the system, so.
And if it's.
If all possible.
I think we can and we will if we can. Like I said,
Let's
provided
make it
that with a
happen.
caveat that we can advertise.
All right?
On another note, but kind of with the citation thing, with the burn ban citations, has that ordinance been sent to the city for them to review it and adopt it, or?
Amy shared it with both of the cities. She had a meeting with both of the chiefs a few weeks ago and said she did share that with them. And so I think Felicia was going to send it over as well, just separately. But Amy did state that she had shared that with them, so.
Okay. I know Clewiston Fire Department, several firemen have asked me, have y'all created a ticket book? Have y'all created something, you know, a process? Because they're getting quite a few.
I have it
They
on
have
my.
no way to really enforce.
I have a draft on my desk from the city of LaBelle. I've spoken to Chief Stevens prior to this, so we're working through that process. We actually had a meeting day that had to be postponed to kind of walk through that from our perspective, you know, how that will work and who's taking lead on it. And likely it's going to be the fire departments, but you know, and we'll get to that point quickly. You know, they need to have it and people need to know it, so.
Yeah, we were already dry, and then the frost, the freezing
Yeah.
just, you know, got rid of every bit of extra moisture that we had, so.
All right, moving along. Thank you, Matt. Moving along, Shane, you've got some walk-ons?
Yes, sir. For the record, Shane Parker, Public Works Director. First item I have for you is Everglades Airport supplemental task authorization number 8 with Tetra Tech for the force main project from Everglades to Clewiston. This is for Phase 2 post-design services. Approximately 4 miles of force main, and staff's negotiated a price out to provide bidding assistance, evaluation of bids, and inspection services on the force main in an amount of $340,045. Seeking authorization for staff to prepare the actual STA and, subject to county attorney and DEP approval, have the chair execute.
Got one question, Chair.
Yep.
Funding for the construction of Phase 2,
Yes, sir.
is that secured?
Yes, we have grant funding for that. I don't know what the prices are going to come in because prices are higher than what they were when we got the grants, but we're estimating around $2.5 million or maybe a little bit higher. But the city of LaBelle recently put a waterline project bid out on Helms Road Extension, and we're grabbing all those vendors and are going to email those folks because there were some directional bores on that. see if they're interested, Demand Star and such. And I think you guys had like 11 people or 10 people bid it. So there was a lot of people interested, and we think the same thing's going to happen here.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, you got a motion by Commissioner Atkinson, second by Commissioner Howard. All in favor? Aye. Okay, motion carries.
Thank you. Next item is related to Harlem Academy. This is supplemental task authorization number 2 with ADG Architecture LLC for Building D, which is the southernmost building in the Harlem Academy on the west of the library. This is for the exterior renovation. There's a grant out there. The grant would end up paying for 80% of the cost of the design. ARPA funds would pay 20%. This SDA is in the amount of $122,711, of which the ARPA funds would cover $24,542.50.
I motion that we accept the phase 1. Staff to prepare STA with the ADG, include amount of $122,711.
We have a motion by Commissioner Byrd,
Second.
second by Commissioner Howard. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. The next one is supplemental task authorization number 3 with ADG Architecture for interior renovations of the same building at Harlem Academy. And it's in the amount of $161,031, of which the county has to provide a 20% match using ARPA funds, an amount of $32,206.20. This would be plumbing, mechanical, electrical, HVAC. They're gonna have to demo some of the floors and redo the piping and stuff, I have details and all that.
And this will, full set of plans to,
Full
this
set of,
building will be operational once construction's finished.
with one, yes,
The
once
plans.
construction's finished, but the
Yep.
plan, these are for the design plans. And on the first one, the exterior that you just approved, the idea would be to spin off the roofing repairs and get that early and get it going, and then they would finish up the plans. They're thinking they can do these all in 90 days.
But the interior plans will have all the interior finishes
That's the
for a
intent.
completed project.
Wherever the walls are gonna go, that staff's okay with, fire suppression if needed, indoor lighting, mechanical, electrical, returns intakes, plumbing, the whole shoot and match. And they're gonna evaluate handicap accessibility at the doors, door replacement, windows replacement, and they'll tell, from there we got a estimated cost estimate for the repairs, but this would be a detailed cost estimate that would come with it. Still be opinion of probable cost, but more finite. And then we should be getting STAs coming in for building A, but I don't have those yet. They're working on 'em.
And will this include some value engineering so that the project, they don't come in, I know the architects always try to,
Right.
this building's gonna cost $3 million when you
Right.
can do it for $1.5 million.
We told them we didn't want the
So,
Cadillac, we didn't
yeah.
want a Yugo, we wanted something that was economical, that they wanted so cheap that it was gonna cost facilities maintenance a ton of money to repair, but something that was reasonable and nice.
They're right,
Eh,
but we
yes,
don't
right.
wanna overkill where we're just wasting money,
Correct.
so.
We have limited funds, so we have to
Yeah.
be particular about it.
And I think we went through that. That's why Jim was brought in to
Mm-hmm.
kind of bring the scope in so that it won't be overbidded.
And the intent would be when the plans are coming through, that staff would be reviewing, including the building official, Jim, and everybody be looking at them as they're doing them so they can have an idea of what's going on. And then when they go to apply for a permit, it'd be easier because the building department would be familiar with the plan set and everything should be good to go.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion by Commissioner Atkinson,
Second.
second by Commissioner Byrd. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you,
That's all
Shane.
I have.
All right, anything on old business? Nothing? This is a hearing of the public. If there's anybody that wishes to speak on any item from tonight or anything else? Nothing? Moving along, business by district. Commissioner Byrd.
So I just want to thank staff. We've been working on the Harlem Academy for a long time, and it's not so much that they're not working, it's just dealing with state and federal grants. So appreciate they work with that. Also, I'd like to thank the code enforcement and Ryan. They done picked up on some things that's going on in the community. And, you can't see things by eye sometimes. You have to see it from a distance, but I really appreciate the work that they putting in. So thank you so much.
Okay, Commissioner Howard.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I have just two things. The first one, is I would like to ask this board if we would be willing to do a letter of concern to the Swamp Cabbage Committee in LaBelle. Some of you may have heard there was a conflict over a entry fee for the LaBelle High School marching band. And because of time constraints and their inability to reconcile it before they get to the deadline that they have to be prepared and rehearsed for the marching, it was over. And so they won't be, in my lifetime, I believe, first time that they will not be marching in the Swamp Cabbage Parade. So I use the words concern because I think there's a concern as a whole of the direction that we're going with the Swamp Cabbage Committee and the festival as a whole. That festival was designed for the businesses of LaBelle and that side of the county. And I'm not sure that we've lost our way a little bit. And I would like to see if we could maybe raise some awareness and maybe some dialogue with the Swamp Cabbage Committee from this, from the BOCC to, if there's things that they need help, and I understand they do. I understand there's maybe 2 people that's overseeing this whole parade process, which I can't imagine how that would be quite a feat, I think, for 2 people. And so if we can help, I think that would be a good thing from the BOCC side. And I just ask if we could ask staff to draft us a letter of concern to the committee.
Ms. Davis, your thoughts?
We can do that if it pleases the board. So,
I'm in support of it. I was disappointed to see the LaBelle Cowboys not, to them, it's not even about the $50 anymore. It's really about the principle of it. I really don't, I can't speak for the committee as to what made them get to that point. I am disappointed with the fact that I know that we give them I don't know if you want to call it a donation, a stipend, whatever, towards that Swamp Cabbage Festival. I know we don't do it towards the Sugar Fest. They do get tourism dollars, which under my recommendation, we bumped up quite a bit this year. So why they're asking for $50 out of nonprofits for a parade just really blows my mind. But I can't answer that without having a conversation. But it is disappointing.
And even in the letter, if we could make it, because that's our school, them are our children, that in that letter, the donation that the county give, that waives their fee. They shouldn't have to pay either way it go, because them are ours. Them are ours, and I don't think they should. I know it might be just $50, but it's not just $50. Them are our students, so I think they should not even ask them for a fee.
Well, first of all, you need a Swamp Cabbage Committee. You don't have it. You have 3 people. You used to have 3 different committees. You had a park committee, you had a parade committee, you had an entertainment committee. Now you have none of that. That don't exist. Cost of the parade, you have cost to that. Everybody said it's about the parade, it's about this and about that. The principal has already booked another location. They was told we can pay, this can be paid, don't worry about it, we can work it out. They said, no, we've already booked something else. Kind of fishy that the next day they booked something else. So I'm just gonna put this out there. What we need is volunteers. You can write letters all day long, you can send to every house in the county. But the fact is, if some of these people don't step up and get involved, yeah, it's gonna continue to be just like that. To join the parade in Fort Myers, it's $100 to $400, period. No matter if you're a nonprofit or not. We've been paying a parade cost for the past, I don't know how many years, because I've been in the parade. We do it at church every year. We do it. We pay $50 every time we do that. There's a cost for the fire department. There's a cost for the sheriff's department. There's a cost for employees to be out closing roads. There's a cost. And for 3 people to put the Swamp Cabbage Festival together, pretty incredible. We do a fall festival, and I have a committee that does the fall festival. It's still a lot. So, you know, and I've been reading all this, and I don't get into politics on Facebook. I just don't. I'll be glad to sit down at the coffee table and talk with you all day long about it, because I like face-to-face. That way, face-to-face, I can look and see if you're paying attention or if you're playing with your computer. But my whole argument about this whole thing is, if people would stop complaining on Facebook and get involved, we wouldn't be having this conversation tonight, period. Do I love the band? The band's been incredible. The stuff they've done, would I love to see them? Absolutely. Absolutely. And anyone would have gladly paid $50. Anybody would have gladly paid $50, because guess what? It ain't about the band director. It ain't about the high school. It's about the seniors this year that will not have the opportunity to march in a parade that they have forever. That's the ones that my heart breaks for, is those kids. Next year, sophomores, juniors, they get the opportunity again. These seniors don't.
Nope.
And I hate that, but again, when you start drilling into things, you start seeing there's no help. And brother, it takes a lot of people to put stuff like that together.
How-
You've done fishing tournaments.
Yeah.
How many people does that take?
I do a golf tournament, it takes about 20 people to run.
Exactly. So can you imagine a town festival? So anyway, that's
So
all.
how long has it been since they've had that lower turnout for volunteers?
Oh, my Lord, 10 years. At least 10 years. You know, back originally, it was the JCs, man. They took it and they ran with it. And you had Ellen and Larry Woosley did entertainment forever. They did entertainment there. They did all that. You had the Humphreys that did the park. I mean, there was so many people in the community that did this, brother, and it just older. Some of them's passed away. A lot of them's passed away. But the younger people aren't stepping up. You don't want to volunteer no more. You ask someone to volunteer, they want a paycheck. That's not volunteering. So it's sad. It's sad. And it's not just the swamp cabbage. There's a lot of things in town that's like that. And they say, well, I want the old LaBelle back. Well, get out and put it back. Don't sit in your house on the computer and complain. Get your tail out there and get involved. And we're just not having that. And that to me is saddening, because I'm not moving out of LaBelle. I don't plan on moving. I mean, my grandkids are there, my kids are there, my great-grandkids now are there. And I'm praying that somebody, other than complaining, will step up and do something. That's where I'm at.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, just one more thing. I agree with you that it is about volunteerism. It really is. We have 11 people that are working the air show as a committee. And that's just for one small part of what's going to happen this Swamp Cabbage weekend. It is about not enough volunteers. My hope, by using the words of concern, is that maybe we can help facilitate making this better, rather than just complain. And that's not what I'm not just complaining. I would like to see something make it better for the Swamp Cabbage Committee, so they can have the people that they need to pull this thing off, and to pull it off well. I just hate to see this come down to a dust up over $50, and those seniors don't get to march.
Do they still have an opportunity to, it's cut off?
The school, no ma'am, the school principal said he already booked another event. They talked today. Trust me, I've been over my neck in this. They talked today and they said, hey, we're gonna work it out. The fee, don't worry about it. You've had so many people offer to donate. He said, well, it's too late. We've already booked something else. So the day after you go on Facebook, you didn't go, no one came to the city and said, hey, City of LaBelle, did you know this is what's happening at your event? No, they didn't do that. They went to Facebook. We're not doing this. If that's your event, I'm coming to you and I'm saying, Mr. Iglesias, is there something we can work out on this? I'd really like to have my kids be a part of this. I'm not going to Facebook. And then the next day, you have something booked already? I'm just telling you guys, there's more to it. An onion has many layers. There's not just that brown one on the top. Sometimes you got to take a couple more layers off till you actually taste the sweet of the onion. I'm just not convinced. Now, again, do they need help? Lord Jesus, absolutely. I wouldn't even have undertaken it. I wouldn't have done it. 3 people, I wouldn't have even taken on.
So is it a City of LaBelle event?
No.
It's not. Okay.
But the
It's a-
people are mad at the City of LaBelle
Oh, well, that's.
because the City
It's
of
an
LaBelle
independent
is
committee,
called
yeah.
the LaBelle Swamp Cabbage.
Yeah.
But there is no committee, brother. It's 3 people. And I don't agree with the $50. I don't agree with the high school being charged at all. But then again, I'm not volunteering to help them either. My pot's full. My point is, they need help. And if we want this to get back like it was, it takes people to do it. But they gotta have a heart. You gotta care about the community. That's what's going on. So
Amen.
I wonder what efforts they've done to try to recruit people, though. I mean,
we had 24 people come to a Swamp Cabbage meeting at City Hall 6 months ago. You know how many of them still there?
3.
3.
Wow.
They've been invited.
At,
And so
at that
it's-
rate, a couple more years, or next year, it might not even exist.
Well,
That's
this year,
sad.
next year, again, if people don't get involved, brother, I can honestly tell you, if I was one of them 3 people, I'd have put a letter on there today saying, I'm glad you all are so involved now, you can have it. Have a marvelous trip, I'm done. And I'd have walked out the door and thrown the keys in the seat. But would I be back next year with all that? Absolutely not. I wouldn't subject myself and my family to what's going on in our media, all the negativity. I wouldn't do it. I'd walk away.
I just think that this is our opportunity. Maybe we can help salvage it. If we can salvage it, great. That's a good thing. So,
But as Commissioner Will said, it's not the dollars, it's the manpower,
This is the
woman
people.
power.
You gotta have people who care. There's a park in Harlem Community, it's called People Who Care Park. And if we don't find people who care, Hendry County's gonna be in bad shape, period. City of LaBelle, City of Clewiston, your outlying areas, we're in a bad place, because right now, a lot of people don't care. So unfortunately, that's where we're at.
Okay, so you requested a letter. Okay.
yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I need to make that a motion, I'll make it a motion. So,
Okay, yeah, let's make it a motion. So we got a motion by Commissioner Howard, second by Commissioner Byrd. All in favor? Aye.
aye.
Against?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Even with
4 to
the
1.
letter from what he just
But I
said,
respect that.
No, hey, I'm just standing on my morals.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bash something I'm not willing to get in there and help. I'm not gonna do it.
even with the letter from what he just said, that they already booked something else. So it's kind of premature to do the letter if they're not available.
No,
Well, it's
I
not just
understand.
them, it's, you know,
Yeah.
so.
I understand Commissioner Howard's concerns. My biggest concern is, I've been watching this for the last 3 years, and nobody will come in and do it. They come in, every year, they come in and ask for help. The city of LaBelle doesn't give them money. They give them in-kind donations. So I don't agree with the way a lot of things go on. I was entertainment there for a lot of years. Let's just back up.
That might be what the problem is.
We didn't get paid. We didn't ask for payment. We didn't ask for payment. They had big names come in. They had Pam Tillis. They had Mel Tillis. They actually had people come in that was people back then. Now we have a bunch of groups that really aren't that. It's hard. Sugar Festival, they bring in talent. They bring in, people want to come see it. So it's just hard, Ms. Byrd. So I understand Commissioner Howard, please don't think I'm talking about you, because I'm not. I appreciate your heart, and I love you, but
Nope,
I can't do it, so.
nope, I understand.
Chair, one thing. Jennifer, can you find out from the sheriff, EMS, fire, what they're paid? If they're paid anything for swamp cabbage, or if it's in kind, and then maybe that's,
I believe it is
it's all
paid,
in. it's
but I
paid.
don't know exactly what those numbers are, but I can
Find that out and
Mhm.
see
Yes,
if
sir.
there's some way that can be worked, where it does take some of that burden off. If it's able to be worked, but that'll give us a idea of
What that
kind of
looks
what
like.
county
Mhm.
funds are being brought in for that as a whole.
You have anything on business about this?
I do, actually. Shane, can you give me an update? Are you done yet? You're not done?
Just one more.
Go ahead, brother.
I want to end it on a good note. We have, looks like we may be in line for $200,000 towards Pollywog stabilization. And I was going to ask Shane if you could just tell us a little bit about what is entailed in phase 1. I'm assuming we still don't 100% have the money, is that correct?
Well, we got the email saying we were awarded it, is the way I took it,
Well,
right, just this week.
It
Or
says
yesterday.
potential funding, so that was the only reason I asked that question.
Okay.
I seen the email, but I didn't read it.
So we just got the notice, so we're hopeful that we got the funding. It looks like we
So-
got the funding.
Okay.
The intent would be to stabilize, remove exotics, and stabilize Pollywog Creek north of 78
Okay.
to the Glades County line.
Stopping at County Road 78.
Yes, sir, 78 north to the Glades County line, which would, next section would be on the west side of.
Well, I look forward to it. A lot of folks down there on Pollywog downstream will get some benefit out of that too, because it'll stop some of the silt going down all the way to the river, and maybe or help stop a sandbar.
And I believe that's a design, that 200,000 is construction, that's design. So, design, permitting and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
Is that a DEP grant?
No, it was the
C-
coastal,
CHNEP.
CHNEP?
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
They finally
Jeanette.
paid off?
Yes.
That's great.
yes.
Yeah, that's that 200,000 resiliency deal, right? I think so, yeah. That's awesome.
Is any
Thanks,
of that
Shane.
gonna be available construction dollars, Shane?
I don't know. That's just design dollars right now because we got to design, permit it, and then we'll have to chase construction funding. Or we might be able to get some from them.
So,
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, the conversation isn't over with Mrs. Hecker, so.
the way I understood it before you got on CHNEP, the 200,000 was a resiliency grant that was gonna be offered to, they had enough funding as it was coming in to basically everybody that was in the CHNEP program to get 200,000. It just wasn't gonna be at the same time. It would be, alternated. So I think it's 200 max unless they've gotten additional funding since I've been off and you've been on, so. Awesome, that's great.
Thank you.
All right,
Yep, thank
Mr.
you.
Willis.
Shane, can you give me an update on the post office in Wheeler? I'm sorry, not post office, you know what I mean, post
The
barn.
mail facility.
CBUs.
The postmaster has agreed to the revised concept that we had that would include enough mail kiosk parcel box for North Wheeler Estates that she was going to purchase, and South Wheeler Estates. We added enough room. Going from memory, I think it's like 80 by 40 structure, like a pavilion structure. My staff's working on a site plan. I seen a rough draft. I showed it to Miss Bird Friday. It was really rough, but we're working on the layout of that to how we can maximize that 2.5 acres for something else in the future, just not kind of like
Right.
jack it all up. So, and then once we get the layout, show it to her. If she's good, then we can get with Jim Sabella and he can start chasing quotes for pouring slabs, and we might have to figure out with Ian how to fund it, but slabs and build the structure. And she said once the concrete's poured, she'll order the mail kiosk. And we have offered to store those in the hangar at LaBelle Airport, but she said she would rather wait till the slab's poured.
So question on that is, when is the possibility we might actually start turning dirt, working on the site?
I mean, I was hoping to have the design layout done within the next 2 weeks. And then if that's approved, you advertise for, at least 2 weeks online at a minimum to get quotes and come back and weigh procurement. Send it to vendors, advertise online 2 weeks, demand star to get people to pour the concrete slab, and then do the same thing for the pavilion. But you could probably tie it all together. Actually, it'd probably be better to tie it all together, pavilion and the slab at the same time. That's what we did at, we do that at Pioneer and Hooker's Point, and tied into one project. So
So possibly, realistically, with all the time frame, April, we could see some motion on it, right?
yes, sir, I think so.
Okay, and same area, road-wise, we got that, I was asked about the last portion of right-of-ways that we received. Can you give me an update on any of that, please, sir? I was looking at, it, even getting to break dirt on any of that.
No, sir. The last board meeting, you approved the right-of-way exchange agreement where it says, we'll give up our easements on Semi-United States LLC. In exchange, they're gonna give us road right-of-way through their property. And that's all that states. So we now have to hire a design consultant to determine that right-of-way width. I did ask for a scope and fee from one of my design consultants. I haven't got it, but in doing so, I remember to check our master agreement. Our master agreement expires in August. I couldn't believe it's been 5 years. So we actually we're gonna be issuing a new Wheeler Road request for qualifications. I think the bids are due May 25th. It'll be coming to Matt to review. I reviewed it today, gave it back to my staff. When they make those changes, it'll go to Matt. But we already got the ad, going to go in the paper. So that's where that's at. And then we'll go through the selection process, pick a consultant. But I'm not stopping. We still have the existing consultant on contract till August, but he can provide us an estimated rough ballpark scope and fee. At least then we know how we're going to find it. We can figure out how to finance the project.
Okay, with all that, then I got one last one. Do we know, I know we was waiting on a piece of equipment to come in. Did you ever get the new grader in?
Yes, believe so. I
Yeah,
saw one in the yard. I'm hoping that's a new one, but I could be wrong.
I haven't went by and looked, but I've been kind of waiting on it. We've had, we went back and forth on Phillips, Road, there's beat up pretty
Right.
good, and, been talking to staff, and I just didn't know. I haven't had a chance to talk to Jerry to see if it came in, so I was just gonna ask tonight, because he said once they got it in there, we could get that portion of that road kind of put back together, so.
We can. Right now, we just finished some road repairs on Northeast Eucalyptus. Jimmy's working on some pipe, but we're moving from there to go to 833 to do some repairs on those we patched some delamination of the road. We plan on doing some milling and resurfacing in-house on that road. So it'd be after that.
Time frame?
Jerry said he's gonna be doing the one hopefully next week, so if that takes, I don't know, maybe within a month, we should be there. I just don't know how long it's gonna take till they start moving on 833. Because we got that, and I got 2 dips. I got 3 dips, 2 on Ever High Acres south of the mailboxes, 1 on the east side and west side of the road. I don't know what's going on there, and I got another dip by the flag pond on Henry Isles Boulevard where your surface is starting to dip out, and I gotta fix that. Just mill out and pave. It shouldn't take us long.
All right, well, I just gotta give them some kind of an idea. I've been kind of pushing them off, and pushing
Right.
them off, and
Understand?
unfortunately, I got information a little backwards, so I got it straight now,
Gotcha.
so.
Okay.
Tommy, the garbage and everything out in Wheeler, I know you've been working really hard on that, and I appreciate all you're doing out there, I really do. I know you get a lot of complaints out there, but, it's getting better, but they're still doing the same thing. The next day after the meeting, I was checking on the deputies, and they were there. The deputies have been there. They haven't been there during the daytime hours as much, it's been more at nighttime, which that was when they said most of the issues were, so they've been there for that time. Actually, Shane, I got a couple from your guys that was out there, they told me the same thing, they saw the guys there, so just so the board knows, they were in the vicinity as they said they were there, so. And really, that's all I got, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate it.
Shane, I just got one question for you. Eucalyptus, have we looked into the speed bumps for eucalyptus at all?
Talking about the letter from POA
Yeah, Unit 4.
No, I have not had a
Okay.
chance to even do that.
Just, let's put that on your radar, and then, of course, Unit 1 with, Ed Weeben. We need to get
Oh,
with
Country
him.
Village? Yeah.
We need to work on that as well. I'd like to go ahead. Oh, no, he already spoke. Oh, you didn't finish? I'm sorry, my bad.
I didn't start.
You
I'm the
asked about the
redheaded
sheriff's
stepchild on
department
the-
earlier, sorry.
No, I just had something to add to about the mailboxes. Amazon delivers to Hendry County now, so that took some of the Ladika and Pioneer Montura problem away with the CBU, with the big boxes. So, on the Wheeler Estate stuff, I know we talked, me, you, and Jim, about looking at CBUs versus what Montura has now, because it's a lot more boxes in a much smaller area. So it may be more for the boxes, but cheaper for the building, less impact square foot wise. Have y'all looked at that since that?
No, sir, because the postmaster said she told us the ones that she's wanting to buy, so
Okay.
we just
So
laid
that-
out.
That is what you're
She's
gonna get.
relocating those square ones like they're in Ladika. She says we're relocating those from Lee County to the site, and we're buying some, and she gave us the schematics, and we laid everything out according to what she wanted.
Okay, and I'm waiting on Quade to let me know how many big boxes can be deleted in Ladika, so we can know what to order for that one. So if we can go ahead and plan to purchase those, because I don't think they're going to on this side.
No, we
It's
at all.
kind of a dead end.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
One question. Shane, where we at on Georgia Avenue? Because I'm getting beat up.
Well, I'm getting beat up by admin too. They're waiting on cost estimates, and I'm waiting on some information for my CEI consultant for Hendry Isles Boulevard, so I can provide that to Mr. Ian, and they can do their drawdown of the credit.
Just need to have something to report. Thank you.
Not a problem.
I know Commissioner Wills always worries about how many I have, so I'm gonna go from 13 to 1. No,
I got all night.
no, I do want to publicly thank FDOT. So you guys know that we've been struggling with the US 27 project from Olympia to the end of town. And it goes to show you, if you get the public involved and they do what they need to do, they email and they make public comment, we can have change. FDOT by no means wants to be a bully. Our district secretary, Jamie Driggers, when we spoke a couple nights ago after the last meeting, it was adamant that nobody in town wanted any medians or curbs, and they removed those. And I'll be honest with you, I had Commissioner Burrows reach out to me after I made a social media post when this all started. He goes, "You're wasting your time. The FDOT is going to do what the FDOT wants to do." And I disagree. I didn't at the time, but I do now. And it just goes that we have to have our constituents involved. You talked about it with Sugarfest, but it is all part, or with Swamp Cabbage, it's all part of the process. So anytime that we need the help of the community, we got to get them involved. And what most people told me was, I'm not wasting any time because my voice doesn't matter. Well, I disagree. Their voice did matter, and that's why we're going to get the highway that we want. We're going to have it repaved, and we're going to have the drainage addressed that needed to be done, and we're going to cut out the frills. So I want to thank FDOT, Jamie Driggers, and all his team, all our staff and commissioners have been out to those meetings, all the community, Jimmy's Tire. Listen, that guy's got he's got a social media. It's like Scott Martin's up here, and then Jimmy's like creeping up on him. Like he's right there, But anyway, it all helps. So I just want to publicly thank FDOT. And that's all I've got.